150s was 60 grand.
I met a Gypsy.
But
so
yeah,
at this point, are you getting contingency for winning this through KTM? Or
I believe so.
Are you making any money?
I don't know though. Like I personally was making like, I think I got like some bonuses from Fox. But like Reynolds was making, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe he could correct me if I'm wrong if he's out listening to this, but pretty sure he was making like 6 digits a year.
I heard that as well.
I'm pretty sure like Monster gave him a RV at one point. Like you want to talk about raking in bread, he was doing that.
Really?
I was not up until I got on the 150.
Okay.
But yeah, up until then we were still struggling. Like there's a guy, you probably know his name's Brent Myron. They call him China.
Yeah.
He used to work for Tedesco, for Wyndham. He was living at our house, and he was my mechanic that year at Loretta's. And my dad was so cheap. China was like, hey, you need a new clutch before the next moto. My dad's like, we didn't bring a spare clutch. Like, my kid's easy on the clutch. We don't need a spare. And China's like, bud, I'm going to go to KTM and buy you a new clutch. Like, we're either getting a new clutch from me or from you. One of us is going to get it. Like, it's not... He was racing 65s like we were factory. And my dad's trying to do it in the most cost-effective way possible. So that was kind of cool. Like, you know, that kind of gave me my first glimpse of, like, how things are treated at the pro level.
At a high level.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I had a star offer. After that week, I pretty much had options from everyone.
Oh, true.
Reynolds, Ryder D, Romano rode for Cowie.
Yep.
So it wasn't like a full option, but I want to say that like if I called them was like, hey, I want to ride for Team Green, they would have made it work. I had a star contract, which at like it wasn't as good. I had to ride the 85, which I don't think was as good. Looking back, like, you know, you could say I made a bad decision, but I don't look at it that way. Like the GEICO thing, it happened for a reason again. Like,
yeah. And that was the best.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the champions,
it truly was producing. Like, yeah, I mean, you could look back now and say whatever you want. There's, you know, opinions. It is what it is. But at that time, it was equal to pro circuit, and Star was actually like, you know, a step below at that point. And also GEICO was like a family to me. They from the first day I went and walked through the shop, everyone from mechanics to the higher ups to the janitor, like everyone was so nice and like so welcoming, and that was something that I gravitated towards because, like, you know, moto's cutthroat. Like we've kind of touched on that, but moto is cutthroat. And you know, you obviously had Bobby Reagan in here. If you don't win, you're pretty much out. My Shaq, opposite. He was, you know, he was very much an advocate of like, we'll race pros when it's time, and you know, we'll do what it takes to get there, and however your road is, that's the road we'll take. Like, if you go pro when you're 20 or you go pro when you're 17, like, don't matter to me. It's just, let's make sure you're ready. And so that was also something like that was very, I don't know, like it gives you that reassurance, you know?
Yeah.
And he was willing to do whatever it took. Like, to build one of those 150s was 60 grand.
Really?
And I had 6 of them. Yeah.
That's loose.
Yeah, you could do the math on that.
Yeah,
But a big paycheck. Plus, only one mechanic could work on it, and they had to be pretty trained to do that. So I had a full-time guy that with me everywhere, plus my salary, like my bonuses. Yeah, it's a big operation to run a 13-year-old on a 150.
That is insane. Pull up some pictures of that thing.
Yeah. While he's pulling it up.
Was it sick?
Oh, it was super sick. It was super sick. While he's pulling this up, my Shack at one point offered to build me a KTM 85 with black plastics, and I was going to run out of like the factory connection rig because this costs a lot of money. They knew it wasn't the best bike. Like, Supermini class is gnarly.
Oh, yeah.
And they were going to build me a blacked out 85 KTM, and I would have been out of the GEICO shop and out of the GEICO rig with a blacked out KTM 85.
Why were they going to do that? Just because this wasn't as competitive?
Yeah, it wasn't as competitive. It costed a lot of money. And yeah, just a
That
big
thing
price
is
tag.
sick, dude.
If you go back, you could see like the throttle body on there.
Yeah.
Everything was custom besides the front brake lever. That was the only part on there that wasn't like a one-off made.
That's insane.
It was fuel injected.
True.
Yeah. The throttle body on there was, I believe it was a KTM 390, like a street bike.
Yeah.
Throttle body. So yeah, it was like the Frankenstein machine, but it was an incredible opportunity for me. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't even really necessarily care about being competitive. I wanted to ride that bike because me and one other person have ridden it, like raced it, you know? And for that opportunity, I could not pass it up. But yeah, the thing barks, dude. Like there's some YouTube videos.
Yeah, let's watch some. What was the one that Coop was on compared to yours?
Probably like same if I had to guess, but
Because who was he? He wasn't GEICO.
no.
JGR, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep,
GGR. But you know, like mine was the first ever fuel injection.
Yeah, so you just got smoked off the start.
Yeah.
So just, who's that Aussie gear?
Whoa.
Who's that? Listen to that thing.
Oh, dude, terrible start. It was so, like compared to a normal Supermini, it was so heavy.
Yeah.
You know, like you had to shift. On a normal
lot.
Supermini, you could rev that thing out in second gear. The comments on this video are floating the valves.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure. But that was how you had to like.
Yeah, you didn't really have a choice.
You had to ride it that way. It wasn't like a good enough bike at that time to like ride it like a real 4-stroke.
Yeah. Yeah, it was still basically a 2-stroke.
Yeah. It didn't have enough power or torque. It had more torque than one of these, like 2-strokes, but
then it just went flat.
yeah. So you had to like
Just keep shifting and shifting
Yeah.
and shifting. Yeah, it's the trip, eh? Because, dude, Superminis, power to weight is phenomenal. The way that they get those things to move. Like, imagine
faster than a 125.
Imagine Deegan's Supermini, like his last.
Like Volan had a Supermini that I had raced him this year, and it was built by KTM.
Yeah.
I don't know what I think Deegan's was a Twisted.
It was a Twisted, yeah.
Which is probably like Jamie's pretty much like my second dad.
He's
So
a legend, eh?
I know that thing was sick, but
Yeah.
Volan had one. I don't know if it was more one-off or not than Deegan's, but it shredded, dude. Like,
Really?
it was sick.
How much better would it have been than yours?
I would say probably a fair amount.
Like a very
yeah.
Go to I want to see Hunter like riding back then. I want to see the style back then.
Yeah, I wonder if there's some.
There you go, Transworld Motocross.
That's on a 250 right there.
Go back to the
That one's on
Oh, yeah.
Supercross.
My name's Hunter Yoder, and I'm in for the...
Oh, this is on the 150.
Yeah. Getting ready for Monster Cup.
Crazy.
Last year didn't go so good.
Was Supercross a bit better on it, or was it harder?
Yeah, Supercross
I was
was
gonna
better.
say Supercross might have been a bit better, eh?
At the mini major, I won the 65 class, and Transworld gives out some good prizes, so you got to go for the top spot.
Look at the little fella. Yeah, you were a ripper.
Little Dragon's back right there.
Yeah.
Milestone.
This year, I'm gonna try and win.
I miss Milestone.
Me too.
Hopefully
It's a shame that Milestone and Star West are gone.
Yeah. True OGs of SoCal Moto.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to love Star West. That place was awesome. Dude, WP suspension too.
Yeah, it was a KTM 85 front end.
Yeah. I mean, they thing ripped.
It definitely ripped.
Yeah, I could see how it would be a bit better on Supercross.
Yeah.
You were kind of lanky back then.
Yeah, a little bit, huh? Boy
then-
kind of had some style as well.
Yeah.
He's throwing some scrubs right there, which is crazy. First probably year on Supercross.
Yeah, it fucking blows me away what kids could do on bikes. So.
Oh, insane.
Yeah, that's it.
The younger
So that
kids,
thing-
the younger kids too. I swear they're getting more style. I don't know if it's because that's what they watch.
It's
Like
100% what that is.
like when I was growing up, I was consuming like the Dungy,
Yeah.
like the very like I don't want to call it square, but like just a very efficient style.
Yeah,
Like,
don't use too much body.
and so like even now that's kind of how I ride. I think a little bit of like just efficient and not too much gas, not too much brake, just even.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. No, you could see
Kids now they get that thing upside down, revving. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, it actually is. It is crazy. I mean, even you just go to Parlour.
Yeah,
There's just kids on 60s. I don't know who the fuck they are.
not a clue.
Just ripping past me.
Some of
bro.
these kids, not that it's the wrong approach, because I don't think any of it's the wrong approach. Some of these kids aren't even racing nowadays. They're going straight 65s, 85s to the ramps, to the hills,
Yeah.
and they're born free riders, dude. And that was not an option for me.
No.
But it's insane. Like, I think it's sick. Like, do whatever you want. Like, that's what dirt bikes are for. Dirt bikes aren't made to just race.
Just race, yeah.
Like, do whatever you want, but like, crazy approach as well. Like, to have a kid and to be like, yeah, you don't got to race. Like,
Well, probably one of the most famous people on two wheels right now is Suronster.
yeah.
Dude has millions of
And nobody's seen
subs.
his face
No one
either.
knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he just fucking...
He's probably outside right now.
Yeah,
I think he's probably a Costa Mesa local.
Yeah, probably just ripping the streets
Yeah.
somewhere. But
No.
there is, and you look at the whole Stasic thing. So now kids are going from like Stasics to Surons to Starks.
When I was a kid, you had
There's
to learn
whole
how to pedal
pathway.
that thing.
Yeah, there's a
Now-
whole pathway.
And
where
now you
don't
get on
even
it and
have
you're
to-
twisting grip,
Yeah.
and you're 2 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. The evolution it can and will be crazy, I think. Like, for all the reasons you just said.
Yeah.
Like, you're skipping the bicycle phase and you're going straight to
The throttle phase.
the throttle phase. Yeah. So,
I just can't wait to have like a little 2-year-old and just be like, here you go, bro.
is that something you look forward to?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
I was thinking about that the other day, like, for all the reasons I just said, like when we started, like the strain and the stress and the relationship side of it, like having a kid. I hope my kid does not. Why I say this, I don't know. I hope my kid, if he wants to race, we're gonna go all in, and like I need him to be there because I was never half in. But if we're not all in, I do not want him to race whatsoever.
Yeah, we were having this conversation.
Let's go and ride.
Yeah.
Let's have fun. Dude, let's go to the desert because I never got to do that. So let's go to the desert. They can get, a little bit of what I didn't get. Let's go ride on the weekends or let's go all in.
Yeah, we were talking about this just the other day, and I was like, I just think there's a better way to make a living.
100%.
Like if you...
My kid's probably getting a golf club.
Yeah, I mean, your kid will do what they do, I guess, and you kind of can't...
You can't control it.
You can't really control their interests, and I guess... Yeah, it's funny, I was watching Villapoto's thing. Have you seen his kids?
It popped up on my YouTube. My dad actually moved. My dad's a mover, so he'll move from house to house.
Yeah.
So my dad just moved him from Newport to Temecula like
Yep.
4 months ago or something.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I was watching some YouTube last night and his thing popped up.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I actually went to bed, but
Yeah, so he's basically... His kids are just all in, and it's one of those things where he was like, yeah, I didn't really want to do it. We tried baseball, we tried football, we did all these things. The kids just wanted to ride.
Yeah.
And then he said, because my outside impression when I see that, I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm.
Look at what you went through. Like him and his dad had all those issues
Hardly
that they had.
Hardly had a relationship, I think, until the end.
Yeah. And it's just like, you want to sign yourself up for that.
Mm.
And I was like, dude, fuck. And then I watched the video, and then he's like, this is what they want to do. Who am I to stop my kids from doing what they want to do? And I'm like, fuck, that's very fair, bro. Like, you really, that's a tough thing to
you know what else
argue,
is hard too in his shoes is like, I see somebody, it could be anybody, kids that are children of former professionals, stars. Like, it would be very tough for the kid. I never had any of that pressure. If I didn't win, it was whatever. I wasn't really expected to win. For those kids and for the keyboard warriors out there and the dudes that have a dirt bike because, and they don't really have an idea of racing, those are going to be the toughest critics, right? And, like, if you don't perform to how your legend of a father did, which is going to be very hard.
Yeah.
Not many people are Villapoto.
No.
Like, it's so tough. And the constant comparison, like, it is so heavy. So heavy.
You just finished watching a clip from the full 3-hour podcast. You're on our Clips channel. The full podcast live on the Gypsy Tales podcast channel. It's linked right here. Go over to that channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and make sure you never miss a full episode of the Gypsy Tales podcast. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you want to watch it on the go, you can also head to our iTunes or Spotify to get the full 3-hour podcast in audio format.
I met a gypsy.